Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. 9 days to go for the winter session of the Parliament to end, but there's no sign of the logjam ending between the opposition and the Treasury benches. Now, BJP MPs have made it very clear they have doubled down on the Congress on the allegations of links of their party leaders with George Soros-funded individuals and organizations. Opposition, on the other hand, has submitted a resolution against the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, Jagdeep Dhankhar, alleging his partisan conduct, Manipur, Sambhal, inflation, employment, GST, state of schools, hospitals, dams, flood management, gender issues, law and order. The Parliament was supposed to discuss all of this, but in fact, there were at least 5 entirely new bills that were expected this session. They were seen as transformative in nature. But the deadlock has largely been between the BJP and the Congress. While the blame game plays out, we ask today, what about the smaller parties in the fray who look at the Parliament as a means of solving issues of people who actually voted for them? Are their voices not being heard? From TDP to BRS to YSRCP to BJD to Shiv Sena to AIDMK and several others. What do representatives of these parties feel? That's what we will try and understand. We will be joined by a panel of experts, but first let's listen into some political reactions.
Both for the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress Party, House is adjourned every day. House will continue only on the choice of the Congress and BJP. If Congress thinks that today House will continue, the House will continue. If the Congress thinks half an hour House will continue, the half an hour House will continue. If BJP thinks that half an hour House will continue, the House will continue. This is not proper. There are so many parties are there. Parliamentary democracy does not depend upon the Congress and the BJP. One day Congress wants to continue, the BJP is disturbing. One day BJP is trying to continue, Congress is disturbing. And we, the rest of the parties, can't speak anywhere. We can't speak. BJP ruling party, they get the preference. Congress is the main opposition, get the preference. We are not getting, we can't point out our points, our conditions of the state.
पार्लियामेंट नहीं चल पा रहा है, रोज हम देख रहे हैं एडजर्नमेंट्स पे एडजर्नमेंट्स हो रहे हैं। अब तृणमूल कांग्रेस बीजेपी और कांग्रेस को ब्लेम कर रही है। वो कह रहे हैं अपने इश्यूज के चक्कर में बाकी रीजनल पार्टीज का नहीं सोचा जा रहा है और देश के मुद्दे, देश के जो इम्पोर्टेंट बिल्स हैं वो पास नहीं हो पा रहे।
I do not want to be the part of this blaming game, but the fact remains that the BJP, when they were in opposition, don't forget that 2G, 3G scam. And that was hypothetically, it was revealed that it was a hypothetical one. And during that period, they did not allow to function the parliament for the entire session. That entire session was a 1 month. So all 4 weeks the parliament did not work. And during that period, the late Honorable Arun Jaitley has said, not to allow the parliament to function is also a democratic function. So it's a right to do that. And same thing Honorable the late Sushma Swaraj also said. So therefore, don't think that not to allow the parliament to function the parliament doesn't mean it will work. It shows that there is a reaction, there is a commotion among the people on that issue.
और ना हम सेरोस के मुद्दे के साथ है, ना हम अडानी जी के मुद्दे के साथ है। तो मैं समझती हूँ सदन को चलना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो पूरा जो ये लोकसभा सत्र जो है विंटर सेशन है, तो मैं समझती हूँ कि हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि दोनों पक्ष के लोग इसको चलाने में पूरी निष्ठता दिखाएंगे और हम चाहते हैं समाजवादी पार्टी की सदन चले।
They are not allowing to function. Actually, it is the ruling party. They initiate the hangama. The ruckus is created by them. It is totally unprecedented. Never the ruling party has given an adjournment motion in the past.
Joining us now is Liz Matthews, senior journalist. We also have Sanjay Gupta, leader of Shiv Sena UBD. We have Abbas Haider, who is a Samajwadi Party leader. We'll also be joined by the TDP spokesperson in a short while from now. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Liz Matthews, to you first. You've been covering the Parliament for many years, and you know, Parliament, like I understand, is the story not just about expectations, but it's also about aspirations. What do smaller parties feel when they are caught in this whole act of either you take on the Congress party or you take on the BJP? Are their expectations not being met?
Exactly. You know what, the grievances, the smaller parties, it was always there, Vasudha, in the past also, like, in the past session, the houses also, the smaller parties always, do not get priority. or they, even in a debate, even if it happens, they get 2-3 minutes maximum. So they always have this grievance that, the bigger parties, they misuse the time, or like you don't utilize the time properly. And, this session also, like the other parties, whether it is the BJP allies or the Congress allies in the India bloc, or in the allies in the NDA bloc, they have been complaining that, they do not know what is happening. The allies ministers are not realizing, whether the house is going to run. They are running between the houses, and when they are going to take up reply to a question, or the appear in the question hour, the house gets adjourned. And the similar way, the smaller parties in the India bloc also have been complaining today. All of a sudden, this house started functioning. Who made the decision? Nobody knows. So this is, and also, like, they take decisions and they don't even keep the allies in the loop. That is a problem with both the sides. And the smaller parties are always at the receiving end. They are mostly regional parties, and they have issues, maybe local issues. They are answerable, they are accountable. They have to present a report card before the voters. Not just the smaller parties. Actually, if you are talking to the backbenchers of both the big parties, like whether it is the BJP or the Congress, you ask them, they are very upset about what is happening, because we have been over the sessions, we have been witnessing, not just in 18th Lok Sabha, we have seen it in the 17th Lok Sabha towards the end also, like suspensions, abrupt adjournments. It has been it has been the saga, like even the story of Parliament, with the continuous disruptions. Sometimes from the opposition, sometimes from the treasury benches. Yesterday, in fact, it was the treasury benches which did not want to. But at least that's how they acted. That's how behaved in the house. They raised the issue. Today, the main opposition raised the issue of Soros for whatever reasons. And like I said, always at the receiving end, the issues of the people and the smaller parties in the house, who want to, the MPs wanted to raise the issue, many issues. Like, several different states have different issues. They wanted to raise it, but they are not getting the opportunity, and nobody is even asking them.
Right.
Do you want...
That's right. Abbas Haider, this is a very important point that Liz is making, that, numerically, smaller parties, regional parties may not be that significant as national parties, but these are states with issues, and these issues deserve to be taken up in the parliament. I know that Samajwadi Party also has been raising matters related to Sambal and also inflation, unemployment. How do you feel about this, this debate that is completely centered on national issues, either what the Congress wants or either what the BJP wants? Does the Samajwadi Party feels fulfilled in terms of its parliamentary aspirations, considering that this is the best performance that the party has had in years?
Thank you, Vasudha. Thank you for inviting me first. On this topic, I would like to say that as bigger, larger parties are not giving adequate time to the Samajwadi Party. And contrary to your question, I would like to say that Samajwadi Party is third largest party in the parliament right now. So definitely we have outshone other smaller parties in the state also. And acting as a third largest party in the parliament, we would definitely like to raise the issues which our MPs would like to raise in parliament and bring to the notice of whole country through the voice of the parliament, as they are the voice of the people of their region. And every constituency has got some different issues, different agendas, some issues which are related to the day-to-day issues happening with the people, the problems they are facing. The employment problem is there, unemployment problem is there, less government jobs are there, and the issue of a regular issue of this paper leak is there in Uttar Pradesh. So that is the responsibility of Samajwadi Party MPs, that they raise these issues in the parliament and they put the voice of their people in front of whole country. And other parties, the bigger parties, they are not letting Samajwadi Party or their regional alliances also to give the adequate time to them to put forward their point of views, to put forward the issues of their region. So I will definitely like to raise an alarm for this, that other parties and the alliances also, they must consider that the adequate time and proper valid questionnaire should definite time given to should be given to the regional alliances also.
राइट संजय गुप्ता, जब जून 4 के रिजल्ट्स आए थे सर, तब ऐसा लगा था कि किसी भी पार्टी का मेजॉरिटी नहीं है, तो ऐसा लग रहा था कि पार्लियामेंट में एक डायलॉग होगा, एक सेंस ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्टिव डायलॉग होने की उम्मीद थी। लेकिन आपको क्या लगता है, एक आपके नंबर्स जो हैं वो इतने बड़े नहीं है जैसे नेशनल पार्टीज़ के हों, लेकिन फिर भी आपको लगता है कि महाराष्ट्र के जो इश्यूज़ है, जो शिवसेना यूबीटी उठाना चाहती है, क्या वो एक तरीके से अंडरमाइन हो रहे हैं?
देखिए, सरकार के किसी भी पॉइंट के खिलाफ अगर अपोजिशन का कोई भी लीडर कोई भी बात कहता है, तो उसकी बात को संजीदगी से लेकर के सुनना चाहिए और उस पर निर्वाचन आयोग को अपना संक्षिप्त विवरण देना चाहिए। मैं ये मान सकता हूं कि ईवीएम के सिस्टम में वो उस तरह की खराबी नहीं हो सकती जिस तरह की खराबी की बात कही जाती है, क्योंकि अगर ईवीएम के सिस्टम में खराबी होती तो बीजेपी की 240 सीटें नहीं आती, बीजेपी की लोकसभा में 2024 में 340 सीटें आती। मगर अगर आदित्य ठाकरे जी ये कह रहे हैं कि इसमें ईवीएम में कहीं पर कोई खराबी है, तो निर्वाचन आयोग को उन्हें बुलाना चाहिए और उनसे पूछना चाहिए कि किस मुद्दे पर, किस पॉइंट पर वो ऐसा कह रहे हैं, और उन पॉइंटों का संक्षिप्त जवाब उनकी तरफ से, निर्वाचन आयोग की तरफ से आना चाहिए। तो अपोजिशन की कोई भी ऐसी बात हो, हालांकि हम ब्लेम गेम में नहीं जाना चाहते, जैसे कि अरविंद सावंत साहब ने कहा कि हम ब्लेम गेम में नहीं जाना चाहते, जैसे कि डिंपल यादव जी ने भी कहा कि हम अडानी जी पर उस तरह की बात नहीं करना चाहते, हम चाहते हैं कि पार्लियामेंट चले। मैं इन वक्तव्यों से सहमति रखता हूं, मगर अगर अपोजिशन का कोई भी लीडर किसी भी तरह के पॉइंट पर कोई बात सरकार को कहता है, तो सरकार को उसको संजीदगी से लेकर के उसके जवाब को देना चाहिए, क्योंकि विपक्ष भी संघीय ढांचे का ही एक पार्ट है, संसदीय प्रणाली का ही एक पार्ट।
Right. Liz, you've also been writing on this. Tell us, is there a sense of frustration, or for that matter, a sense of unrest that's also creeping into a lot of these MPs who feel that voices are not being heard and they're not really being able to perform their parliamentary responsibility as they would have expected to?
Yes, Vasudha, that's exactly the problem. Like during the question hour and 0 hour, it is, the chances are on the loud. So anybody can get, whether it is smaller party or bigger party, every member will get a chance to raise supplementary or raise star questions and all. But the question of this timing or the slot comes when the big debate happens. So as long as this debates don't happen, they don't get a chance. One. Second, when the House is not not in session, when it gets adjourned over minor issues or whatever issues, then this chance of getting, raising the question is lost. The chance of raising the matters of public importance during 0 hour, that is lost. So these MPs, most of them, when they go back to their constituency, they have to tell their, the constituents, the voters, that this is what we have done. We have seen the MPs are making dossiers, the MPs are making, the documents and the video films about how they have raised their issue and how they are getting the work done for the constituencies. As long as this is not happening in the House, all these people are coming, they are leaving their constituency and coming to Delhi, the capital, to attend this session. Almost like, this 20-25 days, they are completely out of their constituencies. So they have to show something to people that this is what we are doing. They are public servants. They are elected by the people. They are answerable to their constituents. So this, when this is not happening, every MP, every responsible MP, they get disturbed. And for a Lok Sabha MP, it is very important. That is where the Congress people were complaining, some MPs were complaining, the Rajya Sabha people take the decision, they are not answering to the voters directly. This is also an issue. Like, when you strategize the party's, flow strategy, when you decide the flow strategy, you have to take into account these MPs, whether they belong to the smaller, your allies,
right.
What do they say? What does their demand and how do they want to do this in this house or behave in this house? That is not taken into account by both the leading parties. This has been the complaint from both the sides.
Right. Josna Tirunagari, spokesperson of the TDP, also joins us. Ma'am, TDP actually had a wave in the state of Andhra Pradesh, both Assembly and also Lok Sabha, with 16 MPs so critical to the working of the NDA government. Do you actually feel let down with the way Parliament is being run? Because, you know, from Polavaram to skill census, your government is also being described as a government with a sense of urgency, right? Chandrababu Naidu has been speaking about reform. For all of that, you need answers from the centre, you need help from the centre. Are your expectations being met by the way, from the way the Parliament is being run now?
Good evening, Vasudha. I think as more than a TDP spokesperson, as a citizen of India, I think we have to be more responsible inside the Parliament. I think that's what I feel. When you ask me all these questions, yes, definitely, as a party, as a regional party, and from a state which has been, completely neglected for the past 5 years almost, and a lot of destruction happened in the state for the past 5 years in the earlier regime. Now we are trying to reconstruct the state in a way. We are trying to make it possible, as you rightly quoted, Polavaram or Amaravati, or the capital city of Amaravati, or different institutions, or the educational institutions, the railway lines, everything. But what is happening is, every day for the past, I think it's almost 2 weeks that the Parliament has started, kahin pe bhi koi bill nahi pass ho raha hai. Nothing is happening on floor. The only thing that's happening is couple of hours, 1 or 2 hours in a day, they come, they disrupt the Parliament, and they just leave. Simple. मतलब ये तो ऐसा हो गया ना वसुधा जी कि पढ़ाई तो करना नहीं है इन लोगों को, स्कूल में एडमिशन तो ले लेंगे पर पढ़ाई तो करना नहीं है, तो क्या कर लेंगे, जाके हल्ला कर दो, रोज आ जाओ, हल्ला कर दो और जाके कैंटीन में बैठ जाओ, बस यही चल रहा है. And I'll give you an example here. I want to quote this example. See, the other day Rahul ji wore a t-shirt with Adani ji and some other Modi ji या किसी का भी वो t-shirt ये पहन के घूम रहे थे, बाहर पार्लियामेंट के बाहर हल्ला मचा रहे थे कि नहीं, we have to be allowed inside, ये तमाशा हो रहा है, and they want to show those posters and all. Now, after all this, they say नहीं, हमारे ऊपर जुल्म हो रहा है यहाँ पे दिल्ली में. And the same Congress in the state of Telangana, they won't allow the opposition MLAs to come with the same t-shirts. कहाँ की hypocrisy है ये? And दूसरी बात, वसुधा जी, the point is, they are going agendaless. The only agenda for the opposition in today's thing for them is to disrupt the house.
Right.
कोई bill ना pass हो, कुछ भी ना हो, बस खाली time waste कर दो, समय निकाल दो, बस ऐसे ही समय निकालते रहो, आप चले जाओ, बस हो गया. जाओ,
Right.
कुछ नौटंकी करो वहाँ पे, कुछ थिएट्रिक्स करो, कुछ वही पॉलिटिकल रिटोरिक करो. एक दिन बोलते हैं धनखड़ जी बहुत अच्छे हैं, दूसरे दिन आके बोलते हैं कि नहीं, धनखड़ जी से तो हमारी बन नहीं रही है, करेंसी नोट्स पकड़ लिया उन लोगों ने, so we want him to be removed. What?
Okay. Abbas Haider, you rightly said that Samajwadi Party has one of the highest numbers of MPs also. Does that also give you a lot of confidence to move a little bit away from the compulsions of being part of an alliance, because the UP victory is entirely yours? Why does that then really sort of in some ways stop you from actually charting your own path?
See, till the time our higher leaders decide this, we are not the part of this alliance. Until and unless, I cannot comment on that point. Right now, we are the part of alliance only, and I would say that only that we are part of alliance on India bloc, and it is not official that we are separated from India bloc.
Okay.
And definitely, we are third largest party in the parliament, and people of Uttar Pradesh has got a lot of expectations, because this time we have 37 MPs from Uttar Pradesh.
Okay. Abbas, also give us an idea of what are the issues that you would have raised if this deadlock had been sorted, because I know that the MPs of Samajwadi Party met the speaker at least twice on the Sambal issue. What are the other issues that you would have really liked to raise for the people of Uttar Pradesh?
Other issue, what we would like to, the Samajwadi Party would like to raise in the parliament will be like the paper leak issue. That is the biggest issue, because the future generation, which are the future of the country, they are not able to get selected in the government services. If they won't be selected in the government services, the post will be vacant. How the state will run, how the country will run, every time it's a matter of their future. their future is being ruined. And the current government, BJP government, they are not taking any stringent measure to stop that paper leak. They are totally failure. So Samajwadi would like to raise this issue of paper leak, which is a most alarming and most concerning issue right now in Uttar Pradesh.
Right.
And talking about Sambhal, that 4 people has lost their lives in Sambhal. It is a very sensitive issue. The communal harmony of the Uttar Pradesh is getting disturbed. And the farmer issue is also a very vital part of Uttar Pradesh, because in Uttar Pradesh, majority of the people depends on agriculture only.
Right.
Agriculture, they are mostly other farmers only.
Okay.
So these are the most alarming issues.
Okay, completely out of time. Liz, last word from you. I do understand this as more performative issues taking the center stage in Parliament, because, you know, there's a lot of focus on performance. There's a lot of focus on raising issues, putting them on the spotlight. What do you think is the biggest, problem with that, and who do you think are losing out a lot when it comes to, a narrative setting like this?
See, that's of course opposition, because the ruling party has its own resources, and you know how the ruling party functions. So it's of course the opposition which is lost. But also I would also like to say, you know, the difference between either this session and this house and the past house. You know, there were always a room or a window of kind of consultation and meetings. And there was there were at least some leaders who would have the across party connections. They would actually make the leaders sit together and talk, and there would be a way out. But that thing is missing in the new house. We don't see many leaders who have connections from both sides. To cutting across party line. Those senior leaders, the veterans we used to watch in the past parliament, in the past Lok Sabhas, they are not there. They are absent, and it's the absence of a barometer between these two sides. There is hostility. We can see, even if we see it that is actually session by session, it is increasing. Last 17th Lok Sabha, we have seen towards the end, most of the opposition was out of the house. They were suspended. It was unprecedented. Like that, every house, every session, we are seeing this hostility is increasing, and the politicians are looking at both sides are looking at each other as enemies. As long as it is there won't be any room for consultation, room for discussions, and actually floor management to conduct the floor management properly.
So that remains to be an important point here. Like, the House also probably needs leaders who can actually ensure that this deadlock doesn't continue beyond a point. But in the midst of continued disruptions in the Parliament, Congress, of course, has asked the government to allow both houses to function. But of course, the government has also blamed the opposition for using diversionary techniques. We'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. On NDTV, it's time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.